All right, guys, so you took your hand plane apart. Now you got to put it back together. This video is a quick video for Stanley Bailey's pattern. This is one of the a couple of videos I'm going to start coming out with because I am always in the shop and, I figure why not, So I like to do basic restores. I don't get crazy with like sandpaper and the crazy amount of flattening that you do. One of the things I just like to do is confirm that the last person didn't screw it up by getting a machinist square, confirming that when you go here there's no light, so you're good. You do that obviously across the body, flip it around, do the same on the other side. What I do is I take some Simply Green squirt bottle, squirt it on, use a Scotch-Brite pad, scrape the hell out of it, and then that's pretty much what you're left with. Anything that you feel like could be a little bit more smoother, I'll do Simply Green on a padded adhesive and just hand it like that. You always want to be careful coming across a lot of these ridges because there's Japanning on here, so you just don't want to take that off. That's the stuff that's important. So for the most part, I don't go crazy taking all the rust off. I don't believe soaking is a good method because it leaves that nasty gray. So if you like restoration, just keep it to a minimal. You don't have to go crazy and make them crazy shiny. But this is what it is anyway. All right, so assembly, that's what the video is for. So first step is get the slotted screw, put it into this area here. Once you get that done, then you're going to say to yourself, okay, the frog could go in. Now it could slide back and forth. So now how do we secure it? So this little slotted guy goes in there with a screw that goes in the top. I always hand start them. I really enjoy these Miller's Falls ratcheting screwdrivers. That's my jam, in case you guys ever come across them, because you're hoarders and you can't stop buying tools. Okay. So now that sits in. So the trick with this is you want to make it, it's not really a trick, it's just general knowledge. You want to make it so the frog slides forward, closing the gap as much as you can when the blade sits in there. So that's, you would just snug the next bolts now. But before you do that, I like to take Brasso and put this in like a Ziploc bag. Leave it in there for like 20 minutes. It turns like bright green, and then you go in there basically with a microfiber, 2 microfibers. The first one to really take the schmutz off, the second one to just basically get the rest off. And then I put a microfiber in the vise like this, and I do this to all the parts. So you could rotate it, you could stick your finger in the back for more leverage. So that's generally how I do that. Then when you feel that's polished, push the yoke forward, insert in. This might be a reverse thread.
Hi, Daddy.
Hey, AJ, getting ready for school?
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, it is a reverse thread. So as you push, turn left, the yoke moves up. So that's how the blade retracts. So, see how it's going up? So you could apply a little oil to this if you want, just to make it smoother, but when everything's clean, it tends to work really well. I use a Q-tip to get into the center, so I do that with the inside of this, and then the inside of the bolts, because this crap gets everywhere. Just a little right there. So now you stick that in, line that up to the slot. Should slide right in because it's clean. Next you get your screws. So once this, I use Noxin for these. I just wipe it on with a cloth with it on, wait 5 minutes, come to here with a different cloth, and basically up and down. And then another trick I do is I'll pinch it here like this and use a screwdriver and clean the threads. So nobody really talks about that. I think I may have invented that, which is cool as fuck. And then all the threads get clean. So then you go in there with that. Do this up top. Load the second one in. Don't forget the washers. There's a lot of hand planes you're going to buy that don't have the washers. So just remember, put the damn washers on.
Were these on a list of no shoes allowed at AG school?
What?
Were these shoes allowed at AG school?
I don't think they were.
You're so handsome.
He is handsome. So yeah. I don't have a big production, guys. Matter of fact, this might be my second video, but they'll get better. Go. Never panic. Never try and screw faster than you're ready, just like life, because that's how you get cross threads or a bad rash. Unless you're on your honeymoon, then it's all get ready for it. So you want to tighten it down, not too tight. Same rules apply of life. Tight is tight and too tight is broken. Next up, we do the tote next. So with the tote, I take denatured alcohol and a Scotch-Brite pad, get it nice and scuffed up, and then I just do 2 coats of shellac. So I'll take something like this. These obviously could be improved on. You can get them longer. Put them into the vise. Make sure you don't damage the wood on either side. You could put a piece of leather around it if you wanted to, and then I just sit it on. Finger up top. French polish and go. I did a French polish video. If people want it, I'll upload it. I'll put the tote on. Same concept as before. You took this out. This. Do your screw job if you want. Screw that. Get this. Always use the right size screwdriver. So I have a fun t-shirt company called woodyah.com, WOODYAH.com. There's always promos on it, but I like to have fun. Hope you guys know that by now. And not take life too serious. So woodyah.com, check it out, WOODYAH.com. And you'll find something there. So far I've shown a bunch of people, and they're minimalist t-shirts, so it's not too crazy, but she's coming together nicely now. We're on the home stretch. Next is the, I should call that a frog screw. You put that in. You don't have to go crazy with it yet. You're going to do final on the blade, and I'll teach you why not to go over tighten on it. How do you put the blade, right? So you always want to look for the logo. Okay, put that there. The screws on the back. You could always remember this. I sharpened the shit out of this thing. There was a huge hollow in it and a couple nicks, so I had to go. So you're going to leave a little bit of space like that. Just a little, I think it's like a 1/16 of an inch. Make sure it's all lined up. Tighten her down. Should be all you need with that. Make sure it's nice and flush. I like to put a little bevel on the side so it doesn't dig into the wood because it is a smoother. So that screw here goes into this little notch here. All right. And the last step is the lever cap. So with this, a lot of times, if people tighten this screw too much, I'll be done in a second, huh? If you tighten this screw too much, all right, it doesn't close, right? And then sometimes people force that screw closed. And then what happens here is these screws, because they're tight, pull on the body, and that's what creates the stress fracture right here. So if you see that, it's mostly because of that, broken planes here. Obviously it's a fall, but usually the stress fracture is from this. And that's my humble opinion. I've just seen it a ton of times. I've been part of it where I tighten it too much. Thank God I haven't broken any. But so from here, see that? So then you got the lateral adjustment here, which goes left and right. So you can go left or right. That little pop usually means now you're lined up. And it's loose. Now we go back. See how that moves left and right? It goes the opposite. Tighten up a little more. A little bingo. I should adjust them properly. And they're just hair turns. They're just hair turns. I have to tighten that toad up a little more. So then you pull the blade forward. So you see how it's hitting and it's not advancing? That means that the frog's too close. So you have to go here and adjust it. So this is where like a bedrock would come in handy, because you don't have to take the blade out. So bring it back. Semi-snug. Semi-snug. I feel we're going to be adjusting this a little bit. There we go. So you saw that happen right there? I put that in. Okay. Too tight. So we're going to unscrew it a little bit. There you go with that. Screw it a little closer now. Okay. Starting to see that gap close. You see how the blade on the left is too much. So also, as you sharpen this, you want to confirm the blade's square. So it's starting to feel it now. So hopefully I could do this for you. So, see how it's poking out? I can't do this in the video. I gotta pretend I'm. See how like that left side's out a little bit more? We're gonna take the lateral. That's the wrong way. There you go. See how it's even now? Now that it's even, back the blade out just a little bit. A little piece of wood. It's a little tighter here. Back out a little bit more. And then from, oh, that's glass finish. Oh shit. So you take this, run it there, figure it out. Personally, I don't like that approach. I will just put a board in my vise and do the rest by hand. Because you're going to find your sweet spot. Just a little bit more on the left. A little bit even. Tilt it, get a little chamfer. Tilt it, get a little chamf. But my God. And that was even against the grain. Alright guys, cool. So that is how you do final assembly with final tweaks and adjustments. It's all about just being persistent. This thing was a rusty mess like a couple days ago, maybe a week. Took me 2 days to flatten the back just because I was dicking around, but for the most part, this is a beautiful hand plane. I'm going to use it on an experiment, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it.